Are we on the air?
Yes, you are.
OTA Chuck, we are hanging out with the lovely, talented, beautiful mermaid. Melanie Fiona, you end up opening up for Kanye West in the UK.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, I am managed by Roc Nation, which is Jay-Z's company, Jay Brown, Tata. And, you know, Jay Brown knows that I'm a huge fan of Kanye West. Huge fan. Like, I have always said I would love to get in the studio with Kanye West to work on music. I didn't even consider a tour. So, you know, shortly after I signed to Roc Nation, they were with Kanye, and they said, yo, we got this new artist we just signed. Let us know what you think about it. We're gonna play you some songs. So at the time, I think, we hadn't solidified the album, but we had a whole bunch of songs. And they played him, Give It To Me Right. I hadn't met him. He's like, yeah, I'm getting ready to go on tour overseas. And he was like, I dig what she's doing. Like, I dig what this is. And, we got a couple open spots for an opener. Maybe she want to do it because I really like what she's doing, where she's headed. And I remember I got the call, and Give It To Me Right had not hit radio. It hadn't hit online. DJs were like your homies, friends that were spinning it for you. Like, hey, what do you think? I like this record. And I got the call, and I remember I was driving on Dundas, and I got the call. I had to pull over the car. They were like, so you want to go on tour with Kanye West? And I was like, which Kanye West? Where? What are you even talking about? And they were like, Kanye West is going overseas. He's going, and I heard that he was going overseas, but I heard he was going on a tour before, but I never thought that could actually be a possibility of all the artists in the world that are out there. And all the artists that he could be like, I want this person to come on tour. I mean, that Glow in the Dark tour initially started with NERD, Lupe Fiasco, Rihanna, and him. I'm like, I don't even have an online presence. Nobody knows who I am.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm serious. I'm not even, nobody knew who I was. I signed my record deal and nobody knew who I was. I was stuck in Canada. When I got the call that I could go overseas, I was stuck in Canada without a work visa. I couldn't cross back after I signed my record deal to get back to the States. They were like, he's going on tour in Europe. I was like, what? What in the world?
Crazy,
what's going on? So, I went on tour with Kanye West, and I opened for him in all of the UK and in Paris, France, and I had a tour bus, and mind you, if you go on my YouTube page, you got to see the tour bus. This is not like, this is how I'm living. This was the yellow bus. It was the short bus. But it was my first tour bus, and it was the most incredible experience, I think, of my performing career. To be able to be on the bill with The Roots, Consequence, Kid Cudi, Santa Gold, Mr. Hudson, and to be, the girl that nobody knew. And for that to be my first introduction to the world was the most amazing.
Definitely beautiful.
Yeah.
So you've obviously met a lot of musicians, artists, celebrities, a lot of people that were probably inspirational to what you're doing right now as an artist.
Definitely.
Who was the biggest personal inspiration that you had the chance to meet?
Wow. The biggest personal to meet. This is a tough one because there's people I've been in the presence of, but I haven't necessarily met. And I think one experience really that stuck with me for a very long time was meeting Brandy. And a lot of people, I've met Jay-Z. Of course, he's a mogul. He's a part of my management. I've met Beyonce. She's a beast and the sweetest. Like, she's a beast on stage. She is superstar and one of the most humble people ever. But one of the most amazing experiences I ever had was meeting Brandy because I loved her growing up.
Yeah.
I loved Brandy. I mean,
still do.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Vocally, I think one of the best in the game. And she took time aside to speak to me, and even Kanye did this as well, and he did it to me on tour, but Brandy took me aside, and it felt good coming from a female in the industry. It really left a mark with me, where she took me aside and she had a talk with me about the industry and following your gut and following your instincts and listening to your heart and really paying attention and knowing the way her career's gone from being on TV superstar, from a child star to, developing and everything that she's gone through with the tabloids and the media and labels and new labels. And it just, was a really amazing experience to hear her share her story with me. And that was an experience, you know, that really made me step back and always remember that, you know, it's a struggle for everyone. It really is.
Speaking of which, the current climate of mainstream music is not necessarily helping the brand and the idea of what is a soul singer.
Right.
It's tough to just be a singer and just kind of let that be something that's relevant and it sits in people's minds as something that they need to pay attention to. Do you feel that pressure, that sort of ongoing struggle to just be this thing that is, I guess now, the traditional idea of a singer?
You know, I gotta tell you, I really do. I feel like I want people to focus on that. You know, I definitely do. I feel like because in a lot of the feedback that I've come across, people are always like, I didn't think you were gonna sing like that. I didn't think you were gonna perform like that. I didn't think your album would sound the way that it did. And for me, I love breaking those barriers. And for me, I think in a time when, like you said, mainstream music has not so much become, I think, about really listening to someone sing, that for me, I wanted to make that, I wanted to be an advocate for that, definitely. I wanted to be, you know, so people would be like, yo, she's really a singer. Like, she can really sing. Like, I want to see her live. She can really sing. And it's an experience of living the music and not just being like, oh, I'm going to ride to this in my car, but enjoying the music for the vocal, for the live instrumentation, for it being that. And then, you know, having room to grow into whatever I want to grow into, but absolutely paying homage and you know, shining a spotlight on where it starts. I think talent, I think that's like a major thing. Not to say that there are talentless people out there and mainstream music is lacking talent, but this is my definition of talent, and I can only do what my definition is.